Hi, this is Scott Marshburn with eCabinets Tips and Tricks, and today I want to show you how I made these resizable Corbels here. I'm going to go into the cabinet editor here. What I've done was I used a cabinet from eCabinets standard library. It was their frameless upper cabinet. And I'm going to go into construction settings here, and on the top I got a full top, and all my insets are set to 0. I've got a material here. I got one made up. I've named it 3/4 solid maple no CNC, and that is so that if I want to CNC this part right here, I can send this whole cabinet to the CNC machine and the operator knows not to try to cut the top or the back. The other thing I've got is on the left side, the right side, and the back, I've got top flush selected. And then on the back here, under my top inset and my formula editor, I've got it set to be negative the top thickness, and that is so that I can use a miter where the top and the back join. Now what I've done was I removed the left end, the right end, and the deck. And in partition settings here, I've got a front inset of 3/8 and a bottom inset of 3/8. And what I've done was I took the cabinet after I got all that set into the partition editor, and I put a partition in there, and it automatically set my insets that I want, which is 3/8 from the outside of the top there and 3/8 in from the bottom of the back. Then what I've done was I changed the width of the cabinet, in this case to be 1.5 inches, which makes these parts right here 1.5 inches wide. Now let me show you about the geometry. I'm going to go ahead and remove that geometry, and I'm going to go into the part editor, and in contour mode I'm going to create edges. And what I want to do is I want to offset this line by the amount that I want this fillet to be here, and this line by the same thing. So I'm under offset tool there, I'm going to type 1 inch and offset this down and this one over. Now I need to create some construction guides for my 3-point arc. What I want to do is I want to set this line right here 1/3 of the way down from this one. Now this line, if I look down here under geometry type and look at the length, it is 10.875. So I'm going to offset that 1/3 of that. So 10.875 divided by 3 gives me 3.625. So I could just offset this one right there. Now this one I want to offset halfway this one, and this line is 8.875, so I'm going to go 8.875 divided by 2 and offset that. Now I can trim this line right here to this one, so I'm going to trim one entity, this one to this one. I'm going to go ahead and trim these and get rid of the lines I don't need. So I don't need you anymore, or you, or you. Now I can create my 3-point arc, and making sure that I've got object snap selected there. I can just simply make sure my cursor is over that point, and it will automatically snap to it, as you can see. Now I can get rid of this line right here and create my fillet. Now I want my fillet radius to be 1 inch, and just click here and here, there and there, and exit contour mode, create part using close contour, and remove the geometry and go back to main. And there's our Corbel. Now we need to constrain this geometry so that when we resize it, everything will resize proportionately. So in Constraint Manager here, the first thing I'm going to do is deal with these lines that is created when you make the fillet there. So I'm going to use my vertical constraint on this one and constrain it from here to here, and go ahead and do my horizontal on the bottom one here. Now I want this one right here to be the same as this one, so I'm just going to edit that dimension and type in 0.1114, and that moved that. Now I need to constrain the radiuses, so I'm going to just go ahead and click on this fillet here, and this 3-point arc, and this fillet. Now you see that my radius right here is 11.2859. what I've done is in Excel here, I made me a little calculator, and I got my part radius and my part width, and I came up with this multiplier. I just simply took the part radius and divided it by the part width, which gives me this multiplier of 1.2717. And right here is my formula. W, which is the width, times that multiplier. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to put it into eCabinets. So edit, dimension, and put that formula right there. Width times 1.2717. Now it's going to change this radius a little bit, but it's not going to matter. Now the radiuses for our fillets is basically the same thing. I got my fillet diameter, or my fillet radius, and my part width, which comes up to be 0.1127, and you divide this by that, and there's my formula. So copy and paste that in. I'm still in edit mode, and paste, and go ahead and do this one, and that should do it. I'm going to return to main and keep the changes. Now when I resize this, I can change this to something like, let's say 8 by 8, and it changes fine. I could go 8 by 10, and it changes fine, and I can go as low as 6 by 6 if I want to. Don't know that I would ever need one that small, but hey, it does work. So the only thing I need to do now is I would go ahead and change this back to a average size that I would use routinely, and save that in my library. Now I've already got it saved and everything, so I'm just going to back out of it, and I'm going to show you how I actually put them in the room here on this cabinet. I'm going to go ahead and delete these, hide my top, and put these in the room. Let me zoom in here where we can see a little bit better. Now this is actually an upper cabinet, so what I want to do is change my mounting height. So I'm going to go load options, and right now my mounting height is 83. I'm going to put that to be the same height as my base cabinet. And I've got my place mode set to align to back, so it should align this to the back of that cabinet. Now I've got a face frame on here, an applied frame on the back. Now it's telling me resize to 0. Well, no, I don't want to resize that to 0. What I need to do now is move both of these out 3/4 of an inch, the thickness of my face frame there. So I'm going to go objects and 0.75. Go ahead and just move those out. And now I need to move these over. And what I want to do is I want to put this centered on the distance from this door right here to the outside edge of this stile. Now I know that distance is 2 inches. So what I need to do, and I know this part is 1.5 inches. So under objects, I just need to move it over 1 3/4 inches. And move that over. And go ahead and do this one. And restore my top. So there we have our corbels on our cabinet. Now if we were showing this to the customer and they said, well, those look awful big, what would they look like smaller? So the only thing we have to do is click on that and go to adjust cabinet features and resize equalize, and we could change the size of these. On the height here, I want to make sure I've got adjust bottom selected, and on the depth I want to make sure I got adjust front selected. Now I can change this to whatever I need. So let's just say, for example, we want to go 10 by 8. That will resize just fine. And I do the same thing to this one. And so there you have it. There's our corbels, and they resize real good. And it's pretty easy to get them in the room. So I hope this video helped you out. If it did, give me a thumbs up. And hey, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe so you can get all my latest tips and tricks. As always, thank you for watching and have a good day.